Alright lads, time to roll the die for the Thursday game. Pub night. Decide who comes with me. I say die singular because Sig is already coming with me so I can test him out more. Omnath, the new rebuild, is coming with me. So I have one slot open. This slot is my 60 card commander deck from Ikoria. So what happened is we split a box of Ikoria. Did sealed, and the idea was you would build a sealed pool out of the whatever you got in the Ikoria, along with some extra stuff from some Modern Horizons 2 that I'd opened. I wanted to get rid of it, and I said, here, put some Modern Horizons 2 in your decks, flesh them out. Make them coherent. So this is what I built. This black, green, white Nethroi Apex of Death. And actually this deck was pretty effective. We only played one game. And Cube realized that the deck he built didn't work the way he wanted. The genie just didn't seem to like it, so we didn't play them again. But I do bring this every commander night with me, just so in case one of the lads does bring his deck and nobody else shows up, we can play a game. So let's get to it. Who's coming with me? That is number 2. Okay, so number 2, for that we have to go to box number 1, which is nice because I plan to make a change to Animar anyway. So this is Animar, this is Aurelia. Aurelia will be going tomorrow to compete in the pub of battle. Aurelia being my Boros red-white smash face, punch people in the head deck. So let me show you something of what she has. So first off, Aurelia, she used to be very popular. She used to be played quite often, but she's kind of fallen off the wagon, as it were, when it comes to EDH decks. Cards like this, even if they're good and they're fun to play, the new flash, the new stuff, just overshadows it. I mean, at this point, she got reprinted 2023 in a, nobody cares about these multiverse legends. You look at the price and almost all of them are financially worthless, or close enough to it to use that term. So she was printed in the second Ravnica, so that was about 10 years ago? Must have been about 10 years ago. It's been a long time. So 2 double red, double white. 3/4 flying, vigilant, hasty angel. Whenever she attacks the first time each turn, untap all creatures. Now, this is important. Untap all creatures in control. She doesn't care why they're tapped. She doesn't give a shit. But after this phase, there's an additional combat phase. So, if you've got her and you've got mana dorks, you've got dudes that tap to do something like Krinko, for example. You can tap your Krinkos, make goblins. She attacks with some other dudes. You untap all your creatures. Your Krinkos make more goblins, and if you have a way to give them haste, they can all join the second phase of attack. Let me show you some of her highlights. What are her highlights? Mark of Asylum, that's one of the card people really don't play that much because the board wipes these days, it's not really about damage. It's about fucking that stupid farewell card. Exile everything. Fuck you. Exile everything. Fuck off. If you don't want to play, then don't play. So Mark of Asylum prevent all non-combat damage that would be dealt to creatures you control. So if somebody's still running, Chain Lightning, not Chain Lightning. What the hell is that card? Blasphemous Act. I'll remember the other card later. Blasphemous Act, Starstorm, Earthquake, Hurricane, anything like that. And this will prevent the damage. War Leader's Call. Also, if somebody is playing something like Ether Flash, Ether Flash says, for 2 red is an enchantment. Whenever a creature comes into play, it takes 2 points of damage. This stops that. Bang. Nope, it doesn't take damage. Fuck off. There's one of the Krinkos. I've got 2 Krinkos in here. Kinky Crinky. So when he attacks, put a +1/+1 counter on him. I hate that it's so fucking inconsistent. So this says put a counter on it. Other ones say him. Other ones say her if it's a female character. It's so goddamn inconsistent. I don't know who the hell oversees this, but they're a fucking idiot. Or maybe nobody oversees this, so the company as a whole is kind of stupid for not doing it. So anyway, when he attacks, you put a +1/+1 counter on him, and then create a number of 1/1 red goblins equal to his power. Okay. The other Krinko you tap and you get stuff. Karmic Guide, another creature that has kind of fallen by the wayside. 3 double white, 2/2 flying texture from black. Echo, 3 white. So during your upkeep, you either pay her casting cost again, or you sacrifice her. Sometimes that's exactly what you want to do, though. If you've got an easy way to resurrect her, you resurrect her and you get a free creature out of your graveyard. When she comes into play, return target creature card from your graveyard to the battlefield. No extra bullshit, no bounce it back at the end of the turn, no it looks at you funny and complains the whole time, none of that stuff. What else is really interesting in this deck? That's just funny. Regal Bunnycorn. Aurelia's Fury! I've got her Fury. See, the thing is, I've shown this deck. This guy's funny. Devilish Valet. 2 red for 1/3 trample haste. Yay. 1/3 trample haste. This is fucking great. But whenever another creature enters the battlefield under your control, double its power until end of turn. So somehow, some way, you can make extra creatures. If you can do that, it's really hard to do. Then creatures come into play, and he gets bigger. So 4 creatures, so he'd be 2, and then 4, then 8, then 16. 16/3 trample haste. That's respectable. Yeah, you can get behind that. This guy, so a lot of you probably looking at this guy and either saying, what the hell is that? Or, why the hell do you have that shit in there? One of the two. Or both. Whatever. Get to Slinger, it's a card that I think it's been reprinted, but I can't say for sure. I don't remember anyway. It's an old card. It's from the 90s. Some like 20 or 30 years ago almost. Let's see, 1995? Oh, wow, yeah. Yeah. That is 30 years ago. My God. How fast time flies. Anyway, this bastard, 2 red for a 2/2 nomad with Echo. He's another thing with Echo, so when he croaks, or during your upkeep, you either pay his cast cost or he gets sacrificed. But when he comes into play, deals 2 damage to target creature or player. What I realize this deck needs is some way of taking out small creatures. Like little commanders that get bigger and shit like that. And he does the job pretty good. Especially if you have a Sun Titan, which she does. So during your upkeep, you sacrifice him. Sun Titan either comes into play or attacks, depending on where you are in the game. And you get him back and he does 2 more damage to something. Creature or player. Uros got a victory. He's indestructible. 7/4 for 4. 2 red and white. 4 mana total. But if your devotion to red and white is less than 7, he's not a creature. Creatures you control basically get menace. It's extra words. It should say creatures you control have menace. But they didn't really have the templating back then. Prevent all damage. All of it that be dealt to attacking creatures. So it doesn't matter what they block with. They just smack up against those creatures. My creatures smack up against whoever I'm attacking and bounce off. Ogre Battle Driver, Girl. So this is a way of getting haste down. 2 for a 2/2 Goblin Samurai. Spend 1 red, creatures control get haste. And he's got this other ability I don't really care about. Skull Clamp, because I'm making tokens into goblins. Nobody likes goblins because they smell bad except for maybe Squee. So you clamp them and you get cards. You turn your goblins into cards. I really want to get the set. I don't, for some reason, I just don't like that. I don't like that little planeswalker. It's distracting. So I want to get a set foil Veilfire Liege. They're probably not that much anymore. Prices probably come down. So there's the other Crinkle Mob Boss. Tap X 1/1 red goblin creature tokens, where X is the number of goblins you. So double your goblins. So you can attack during your first, during your attack step. So before first main or during the something, before she actually attacks, or in response to her attacking, double your goblins. She attacks, untap all creatures, so he untaps, and you can double your goblins again. You can just go to town. You can get it done. You can hurt somebody. Yeah, 5 red, 5 white hybrid, 3/4 flying spirit avatar. Attacking creatures go get some schmuck on the channel. When I say this, I said blue black hybrid, and he said, "It's Dimir, and that's not optional." Oh, fuck off! I'm going to call it the way I want to. Red white hybrid. Anybody looking at the goddamn card can see the casting cost. Anybody that is only listening to me can, of course, go back to the video, go to when I said this, and look at the card and know, oh, yeah, that makes sense. I know exactly what the hell he's talking about. Some people are just self-important assholes on the internet. General Crete, she's new. Haven't had her in play before. The Bolt Bringer, 2 and a red for a 2/2 legendary goblin soldier. Whenever one more goblin you control attack, you get a 1/1 red goblin creature token that's tapped and attacking. Whenever another creature you control enters, deals 1 damage to each opponent. So she attacks. She makes a goblin. All my opponents take 1 just because the goblin showed up. And she goes and punches somebody in the head. Neat. Goblin surprise! Yeah, it's just a junk common from Foundations. It replaced it replaced a card. It replaced a sorcery that cost 1 double red and made 3 goblin tokens. So I chose, instead of the 1 double red to make 3 goblin tokens, I would go 2 and 1 red, 2 colors, 1 red, to instantly either make 2 1/1 red goblin creature tokens, so I can do that at the end of somebody's turn or in response to an attack, more options because it's an instant. Or I can make my creatures more powerful to all of them get +2/+0 till end turn. So I put that in. Rabomeister, Bastard Cat. What's cool about him is -2. Whenever one or more non-token creatures attack this turn, create that many 1/1 white soldier creature tokens that are tapped and attacking. So, here's the scenario. I do -2 on him, and I attack Aurelia and some buddies, non-token buddies attack. I get those white soldier tokens for every creature non-token that's attacking. His ability is still there. This turn, the turn is still on. So when she untaps everything and attacks again, I get that many more soldiers. Cool. I like it. I like her too. 3 red white, 4/4. So she's kind of like the War Leader. War Leader costs 6. The Law Above costs 5. Law Above is a bit more powerful. So it's cheaper and more powerful. Power creep. It's a hell of a thing. But instead of doubling my combats, whenever anyone attacks with 3 or more creatures, I get a card. Whenever any player attacks with 5 or more creatures, deals 3 damage to each of my opponents and I gain 3 life. So, if somebody is willing to take the hit, they can attack with 5 creatures just to hit everybody else for 3, except me, and I get 3 life. So she's pretty cool. Let's see. There's that Nykthos, Shrine to Nyx, Urbrask the Hidden, Reconnaissance. So Aurelia, I want to attack with reckless abandon, constantly, freely, every turn. Sometimes you don't know what you're attacking into, so you need to do a little reconnaissance. So 1 white for this enchantment. You can attack, and if you don't like what's going to happen, somebody settles your fucking wreckage, you can remove your creatures from combat and say, no, I don't need to get settled. Now, you might let the tokens get settled so you get more lands. That's always an option. Remove target attacking creature you control from combat. So it's whichever ones you want. If somebody is going to have a really unfavorable block, you can pull him out, and everybody else can smash face. Get in there. Get some. What else do I have that's cool? Gazelle's Blade of Gutless. She is expensive. She tops out the mana curve. She is the most expensive mana-wise card in the deck. 4 red, white, 5/5, flying for striking angel. If a source, all the sources of damage I control deal double. All the sources that would deal damage to me or stuff I control gets cut in half. Bang. Nice. There's a Blasphemous Act. Adeline Resplendent Cathar. I didn't read her. She's another card I didn't read carefully enough. 1 white. I was talking about her. And I said whenever she attacks for each opponent, I get a 1/1 white human creature token. This tapped and attacking the player or planes. Blah, blah, blah. And somebody said, actually, it's whenever you attack. She doesn't have to attack. And I pulled out the card and I read it. And I'm like, holy shit, dude's right. She doesn't have to attack. She can just stay home and chill. And everybody else can attack, and I still get the humans. That's even better. That's, if there's heavy shit on the ground, and I just want to throw some soldiers out there and see what happens, then she doesn't have to go. Firemain Commando. 4 white, flying whenever you attack 2 more creatures. She's kind of like a little law buff. Whenever I attack 2 more creatures, draw a card. Whenever another player attacks 2 more creatures, they draw a card if none of those creatures are attacking me. So when I attack, I get cards. If people attack, in a committed way and don't come at me, they can have cards too. Intimidation Bolt. As I've pointed out before, 1 red and white instantly. Deal 3 damage to target creature. Other creatures can't attack this turn. Now, other creatures. That means all the creatures. So if this guy over here, the player to your left, if he's doing a massive attack, and this isn't going to kill any of his creatures, and he's not attacking you, or if he looks like he's going to do a massive attack, because you need to do this before combat, before attackers are declared. So you look at him and you think, he's probably going to fucking attack me. Look at all those bastards. I can't kill any of them with 3 damage. But this guy over here, he's got Drannith Magistrate. He's got Drannith Magistrate that's been pissing you off all game because you can't get your commander down. So you can intimidate Bolt that's fucking Drannith Magistrate, kill his ass, and he gets smoked so hard, the other creatures can't attack. So I like that versatility. I'm quite pleased with myself that I saw that. Stoneforge Mystic, yeah, pretty one. Siege Gun Commander, Hell Rider. So this is another reason to attack with Abandon. Whenever a creature I control attacks, deals 1 damage to a defending player. This guy didn't know it was a fucking card. I saw him in Arena and he had that stupid Arena symbol, the video game card symbol. So for the longest time, because I didn't open any M19, I didn't play Standard during that period, I didn't think it was a real card. And I kept thinking, why isn't he a real card? I mean, there's no reason. He doesn't do any video game bullshit. But because he had that stupid video game bullshit logo on him, I thought he was. And then a few months ago, I'm looking at MKM, and I just put in Goblin Trash Mask just to see. And it popped up. Oh, he is a real card. I'm going to get a couple. So I got 1 for Aurelia, and Karavek has 1. Speaking of Aurelia, I started trying to shuffle her into this pile. I just saw it. Don't I have her in a different sleeve? Where did Aurelia go? Did she go in here? Maybe I don't have her in a different sleeve. What I started doing is putting all my commanders, all the creatures I designated as such, in a different sleeve. So I should do that with her, so I don't do what I just did. Because I don't want to do what I just did. Anyway, let's put this in the box and get to that change that I want to make to Omnath before the game, although it likewise requires a change to Animar. Because I'm going to be taking something out of Animar that Omnath can use more effectively, and I'm going to giving Animar something Omnath had that Animar can use more effectively. It's a win-win, baby, all the way around. Yeah, I've got to shuffle these lands. Where the hell is it? What am I taking out? I'm taking out... taking out a green card. I know which one. I just had... There it is. So, Devoted Druid. Now, she's good, and she could work with the deck. The problem is, Doubling Season and Innkeeper's Talent. If I get Innkeeper's Talent to level 3, it says double. If I put counters on a permanent, I put double. It doesn't care what they are. I just double. I don't have the option. I can't decide, yeah, I'm not going to. So, Devoted Druid, I would need more ways of giving her plus and plus on counters, because if I've ticked up Innkeeper's Talent, for example, to level 3, if I tap her for green and then untap her by putting a neg counter on her, then she gets 2 of them, because that's what Innkeeper's Talent says. So she doesn't quite work with the deck. If I get a lot of the effects that put +1/+1 on counters on things, then it's better. But I can't count on that. I can't really reliably say that is going to be the case, because it could be I need to get her down quickly because I need the mana. So tap her for green, and I'm hoping to draw something that gives her +1/+1 counter. So maybe I tap her for green, tap her, untap her by making her a 0/1, neg 0, neg 1, and then hope I get something that gives her +1/+1 counters. And then if I get something like Doubling Season, and I don't find anything that gives her counters, puts them on her. For example, Railway Brawler. He only gives her the counters when he comes into play. Renata only gives her the counters when the Devoted Druid comes into play. The creatures come into play with more counters, and I need ways of putting counters on them. So I'm going to... It doesn't look like it's in there. And I'm not giving Animar the Devoted Druid. He really has no use for her. He doesn't do a lot of +1/+1 counters. He has some. He has some ways to distribute +1/+1 counters. Both those are mainly put on him, so all my creatures become cheaper. So what I'm going to do is, because Gar Sage, so they both have the same mana cost. Gar Sage is 1/2, she's 0/2. I mean, that's a negligible difference. They're both elf druids. But she has Evolve. Whenever a creature comes into play under my control, if it has greater power or toughness than her, she gets a +1/+1 counter. And I can tap her to get green for every +1/+1 counter on her. So she... there it goes. She is going to be better... How's that sleeve? Should I replace it? No, she's stuck in there pretty tight. I'm not going to take the sleeve off. Okay, so she's going to be more reliable in Omnath than Devoted Druid. Devoted Druid, I should actually put into Sigarda, because Sigarda has this whole thing about not only putting +1/+1 counters on my creatures, but she's got this whole thing about removing them too, because of the way she works. So what am I giving Animar? Something that I bought for Omnath and I took out of Omnath. So this stack, this is cards I've bought over the last year, roughly. And I got them for decks, and I put them in the deck, and they immediately come out because I realize something is better, or they don't even go in the deck at all. A few of them, though, to be fair, like this is waiting to go into Nekazar. This is on standby for Nekazar. These are going to go into Voya. So I got this, and you saw me take it out of Animar a couple days ago, and I forget what deck I bought it for, but it's obviously not in that deck. I got this for Saskia, and a couple days ago, same when I did this, I took it out for Chiron Negotiations. I put Chiron Negotiations back into Saskia, taking this out, then these, then Exploration. These I bought some cards of a dude, and he was really nice and gave me a couple of these, so those are cool. These are supposed to go into Azami. Look forward to me talking about those changes in a few days. That's going into Animar. I still don't have this in a deck. I took Herald out of Omnath because he doesn't quite need a third evasion ability. I had to make room for something. I got this for Omnath, and it's not sleeves, so obviously it's not an Omnath. Jesus Christ. And I've got all these fucking... And to be fair, this I've had for years. And this goes into decks, and it comes out. It goes into another deck, and then it comes out. It just bounces around. I know I will find the perfect deck for it someday, and I thought Omnath was it, but ain't quite it. Jugi, the Rising Star. I was thinking of giving that to Saskia. I bought this years ago for the art, because I like the art a lot. I love it. But she already has enough lands that produce colorless or do nothing unless the conditions are met. She has Guy's Cradle. She has Cabal Coffer. She already has 2 lands that do nothing unless the condition is met. So unless I have tokens, because I don't want to exile my non-token creatures, unless I have tokens, and I want to exile them to build this up, it does nothing. It's just there. And that needs to go in the Zombie Horde. Let's just get that out. That needs to go into Corvold, but I haven't really thought about what to do yet. That needs to go in the Art Binder. That needs to go in Frodo and Sam. So all these fucking cards, they need to go somewhere. Probably in my binder. And I've got... I'll show them to you. I'll show you lads. Some of you liked it when I showed you my basic lands. I'll show you my art binders in a few days. And you can see just what I'm stuck with. Of course, most of it is junk. Most of the cards in the art binders are junk. That's just the way it works. So let's give Animar this Hydroid Crisis, which I got for Omnath, which is now not an Omnath because I decided to go into a different direction. So Hydroid Crisis, man, these sleeves are shit. One of the new brothers in the house, he asked me what kind of sleeves I use. And I told him I used to use KMC, but then they became unobtainable except from Magicard market sellers, and the shipping is kind of high. I mean, that's a KMC sleeve. It's been around, but it's cloudy, it's scratched, but it's still tough. They don't fall apart like some other brands. Then I switched to Game Genic, and some of those are good, some of them are bad, but overall the quality is hit and miss. So I quit using those. And now I use Dragon Shields, but Animar, he still has these KMC sleeves. So, fuck did Animar go? So I flip over half the goddamn deck. I should take that whole palace out. So why am I putting this Hydroid Crisis in here? Okay, Animar. Blue, green, red. Texture from black, texture from white. 1/1. But whenever you cast a creature spell, put a +1/+1 counter. Whenever you cast, he gets a +1/+1 counter. Creature spells you cast cost 1 less to cast for each +1/+1 counter in Animar. Now, he builds counters up pretty fucking quickly. This guy, blue-green. When you cast the spell, you gain half X life and draw half X cards round down each time. Flying Trample. Comes play X plus and plus encounters on it. So, Animar, he'll get to 4 counters quickly. Really fast. Like a couple of turns after he comes into play, he'll have 4 counters on him. So if I just play blue-green, he'll come into play as a 4/4 flying trampler. And I'll get 2 cards and 2 life. Would you pay 2 green for a 4/4 flying trampler, 2 cards and 2 life? I bet you would. I mean, Moldrifter cost 5, and people were running those all over the place years ago. So I think the Hydroid Krasis is going to be good in Animar. Once I play him again, I'll let you know. Last time I played him, it was with Cube. Cube came over, and we didn't want to do 1v1 games, so we ran them against the Zombie Horde. And Animar just, he decimated the Zombie Horde. He just wrecked it, because he's a badass. He's all kinds of fun stuff. Anyway, so those are 2 changes. Aurelia is coming with me tomorrow. See how she does. Omnath is coming with me because I want to test him, so I need to start shuffling him tonight, so he's good and ready. Sig is coming. I found I have a copy of Drown in the Loch, so maybe I'll take something out of Sig for Drown in the Loch. I don't know what right now. I don't want to think about it. That's it. Hope you like it.